What up, everybody? YouTube Live. How's it going? This is yours truly, Rama Screen, covering movies, TV, and entertainment. And I kid you not, honest to God, I was about to film my next reviews that I'll be posting here as well. But before I go ahead and do that, I want to give you my 2 cents on this matter. This news that you probably have already heard from early on this morning. And this infuriates me because I'm a huge fan of. I grew up a DC fan, more of a Superman fan. I don't, I'm not too well versed about the other characters, and especially not Swamp Thing. But I'm more of a DC fan than Marvel, and ever since DC or WB unleashed this new digital streaming service, this universe, I want DC universe to succeed. You know, but it seems that they've been having some problems, and the latest news really bums me out and makes me pissed off a little bit. Also, at the same time, in that DC universe reportedly has canceled Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing is their latest new series. They always, of course, have new series every Friday. Last fall was Titans. This past season was Doom Patrol, which had 15 episodes. It was awesome. Love Doom Patrol. But Swamp Thing has been having difficulties even during production while they were filming it in North Carolina. You may have heard not too long ago that DC Universe trimmed down the number of episodes from 13 to just now 10 episodes of season 1. And premiere episode, or the pilot episode, just aired last Friday, like this past Friday, May 31st. So after only one episode, bam, DC Universe says, we're done with it. We're not going to give it a renewal. We're not going to have season 2 for Swamp Thing. Just like that. The upside is, at least, you'll still get the rest of the episodes of these 10 episodes of season 1. You'll still get that every Friday morning. That much is still going to happen. But there will not be a follow-up season after that. After this one, after you watch the 10 episodes, that's it. That's that. Now, before I get to who or which other networks might be interested in picking the show up or rescuing it, you may have already seen from the title of this video, those two. But before we talk about that, before we talk about those networks, I want to give you some of the possible potential reasons behind this cancellation, or at least what has been reported out there. Because remember, or keep in mind, that WB or DC Universe, neither of them have released an official statement yet, explaining, hey, we've canceled Swamp Thing and here's why, blah 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 blah. No, nothing on their end. So we're relying mostly on the reports out there from somewhat to kind of reliable websites. Um, One of them. Now, okay, before I get to that, I forgot to tell you that when DC Universe trimmed down the number of episodes from 13 to just 10, that got one of the stars angry, and her name is Virginia Madsen, Oscar nominee Virginia Madsen, one of my favorite actresses. If you haven't seen the movie Sideways, you are missing out, buddy. It's a great movie. So, anyway, she's in this series, um, as one of the co-stars, playing the opposite of the character Abby Arcane, who's played by Crystal Reed. So Virginia Madsen heard about the trimming down of the episodes, and she got pissed. And she expressed her grievance on Instagram, on an Instagram post, which has since been deleted. Obviously, it's understandable. you could probably just imagine or assume that maybe the producers give her a ring or give her a call. It's like, hey, you got to take that down. It doesn't look good if one of our stars that we hire and pay kind of turn on us like that. It's not good. It's not good PR. So she has deleted that post, but she's not very pleased or happy about that. Okay, so the possible reasons for cancellation, according to IGN, one possible reason um, is that WB is reevaluating their subscriptions streaming service, DC Universe, perhaps because of low subscription, low viewership, maybe, and now they are concerned or worried about continuing on that service or DC Universe. So that's one possible theory. We don't know yet because we don't have the numbers. Just like Netflix never reveals their ratings or their viewership numbers. It's one of those things, man. With streaming service, it's always ambiguous when it comes to those things. Another possible theory as to why they canceled Swamp Thing is creative differences. This is just a rumor, so take it with a grain of salt. But word has it that some of um, the powers that be, the executives and the producers of this show, they have differing opinions as to the direction of the show, like as far as tone and style go. Some of them want Swamp Thing to be more procedural, like your usual CBS shows. Um, that when the plot would start and end in each episode. That's what you mean by procedural. And some of them want the long arc and more emphasis on the horror. And I'm more siding with that camp. I like that idea more. But that's one possible theory: creative differences. But the third, and actually the more solid theory or reason as to why they canceled Swamp Thing, um, according to comicbook.com and also dreadcentral.com, and journalist John Golson, who is a reliable source. He did a tweet thread explaining why that is. So this third and more solid possible reason is that it has something to do with the the trouble with the financial dealings of the tax rebate in the state of North Carolina, which is the state that this production takes place, or where Swamp Thing is shot. So let me give you what they say here, and I'm quoting Dread Central here. When Swamp Thing entered production, it has secured nearly $40 million in tax rebates by shooting in North Carolina. Swamp Thing has a production budget of over $80 million. $80 million. That is an expensive show. So $40 million tax rebate. That's a hell of a savings, right? It's like, wow, that's a half load off my back, sort of thing. Unfortunately, though, there's a clerical error. They say here there's a clerical error which slashed the state's tax incentive program, nearly leaving it without any funding whatsoever. But when this error was realized, the result is that Swamp Thing, instead of getting 40 million, is now only getting 12 million dollars in tax rebate. So from 40 drastically down to just $12 million. That is a mountain of difference. So now that WB is looking at this, big difference, right? Because the budget's 80 million, you know, against the $12 million tax rebate. That's what? That's about. My math is a little off sometimes. 70. Let's see, 80 minus 12. What is that? I gotta go to calculator because I'm not math savvy. 68 million dollar difference. Now that's because of that. They feel like, wow, this is not worth it anymore. This is not worth it to continue. If this is gonna be what it is for season two moving forward, that we're only gonna get $12 million when season two might the budget might even balloon even some more, then it's not worth it. It's so not worth it. So that's the reason, the more possible theory, the more solid theory as to why DC Universe cancels Swamp Thing so soon. Um, I'm bummed out. I really, really liked the first episode last Friday. I gave you my thought about it in the video review that you can watch this on this channel. You can watch it on this channel. I like the whole Southern Gothic horror feel to it. I love the setup, and I love also um, there's this one scene. You've those of you who've seen it, you probably remember in the laboratory, the scene where the corpse, because the swamp or the plant is alive within the corpse, and it starts to like reanimate itself, right? Uh, and and it starts threatening Abby Arcane and Alec Holland, and that whole scene was just amazing. And the way the corpse kind of raises itself up and breaks apart, it sends chills down your spine. It's like it makes me cringe just watching it. And it's like that scene from John Carpenter's movie The Thing. Remember that? The Thing, that not the reboot, the one that's a few years ago with but The Thing, the original The Thing with Kurt Russell. There's a scene in that movie in The Thing, in the lab, or in the morgue also, with the guy like become reanimated as well, if you will. And back then they did it with claymation, and there's no high advanced CG at the time. And so that's the impression, it's like a reminiscent of that, of The Thing. I love that. I love it. Oh my god. And the way they set up the mystery too, it makes me want to know what happens next. Makes me want to turn the page to the next chapter. It's like, and so that's why I'm feeling down. I'm feeling sad. I was blogging this whole day too. I was like, but in the back of my head, I'm like, damn, why? Why you gotta cancel Swamp Thing so soon like that? DC, you really don't want us to have cool things, do you? Which leads me to my last note here. Uh, as the title of this video suggests, or has given to you, that the CW network and HBO are considering rescuing Swamp Thing or picking it up. That's what usually happens when a show gets canceled. Um, the producers of the show or the studio behind it, either Sony Pictures TV or whatever, that they would try to shop the show elsewhere to other outlets or networks or other streaming service in hopes that they would acquire it and pick it up. Um, and so last I heard, the CW and HBO are interested. There's nothing official yet. Nothing's locked down yet. As of this hour, I haven't heard that news that like, oh my god, yeah, there's gonna be HBO season 2 on this channel or that channel. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. But I want, if the choice is between those two, I want HBO to pick it up. I want HBO to be the one to get Swamp Thing, not the CW. Now, I love the DC shows on the CW. Okay, I have much love for The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, and I'm looking forward to Batgirl. But you know how it is with the DC shows on the CW compared to the DC shows on DC Universe. It's like night and day, man. Uh, it's on the CW, the production value, man, the production quality is just. I mean, and even the story itself, they're so campy. They're so like at times can even get cartoony and over the top. Sometimes they don't take themselves too seriously, and that's fine. That's how they are, especially Supergirl. But I want my DC shows, having seen Titans and Doom Patrol and Swamp Thing, I want it to be like that, continue to be like that, especially Swamp Thing, with grit and a lot of f bombs, um, a lot of darkness to it, that kind of mood, gloomy, and I mean, just like Cliff Steele and Robot Man. I mean, imagine Cliff Steele or Robot Man in Doom Patrol, like this past season, if he didn't get to yell out a lot of f bombs when he got angry, and he got angry a lot. He went into temper tantrum quite a lot in that Doom Patrol show. And imagine if he wasn't allowed to do that because it was on the CW, because the CW, you can't do that. That's John Constantine. John Constantine is on DC's Legends of Tomorrow, and he can't even like light up his cigarette because you can't do that on the regular network. The broadcasting, that there's rules against that. So I don't want that to restrict Swamp Thing. Okay, I want Swamp Thing to go brutal. Just like the premiere episode when the swamp protrudes or goes through RJ Seiler when he's on that boat. It's like he just stabs him and it comes out of his mouth like that. I was like, oh damn. I want to see that. I want to see every detail of that. Every violent detail of it. I want the characters to, if they need to lash out just like Robot Man, and I want them to actually lash out, that they don't hold back. I want my Swamp Thing with no holds barred. So if the choice is between the CW and HBO, I want HBO to rescue Swamp Thing, but I'm not holding my breath at this point. Um, these things sometimes, Lucifer got rescued by Netflix, but it's very rare that a canceled show would end up in another. Uh, Brooklyn Nine-Nine got canceled and that got rescued, but it's like dime a dozen, dime a dozen, very rare. Sometimes when a show gets canceled, the show just gets canceled and you'll never see it again. So I'm very, very sad. Um, and I love actress Crystal Reed. I think she's freaking gorgeous. I want to see her continue playing Abby Arcane for 10, 20 seasons. My God, she's a sight to behold. And I mentioned in my review of the first episode that she has this ability to just gives you like the most rich, the richest, most elaborate facial expressions to react to her co-stars or counter characters. I love it. I love it. I love Swamp Thing, and I'm really, really sad that it got canceled. But we'll see. We'll see whether or not CW or HBO will pick it up. But as of right now, the show is basically dead on water, dead on the swamp water. So thank you so much, you guys, for listening to my long rant. I'm gonna go now and film my reviews of the next two new movies. One of them is a Netflix movie. So, all right, what do you think? Are you as sad as I am? Are you as discouraged and feeling down as I am about Swamp Thing getting canceled by DC Universe? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, subscribe to my channel, press that like button, and ring that bell. And you can, if you can help support my channel, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. That's patreon.com/screen. Let's rock this.